Wales up against France in the Six Nations. This is kind of a particularly fascinating one because of the French resurgence this year under Fabien Galtier. The fact that Sean Edwards will be returning to Cardiff is also a bit of a spicy one as well. But man, the French have started really well, and I think most rugby fans are probably pretty thankful for that. They have been disappointing for a few years, apart from the odd kind of here or there result. But 2-0 so far. A solid, if not spectacular, win over the Italians, who were kind of resurgent on their own. And a very good win over England, where they managed to hold on and ultimately deserved to win that one as well. So 2-0 for the French. For Wales, also a new coach in Wayne Pivac. A good, I guess, kind of blowout win. Like if you're comparing the two games against Italy, Wales' one in terms of the scoreboard especially was particularly impressive. Whereas their one in Ireland, they just kind of weren't sharp enough in that game over the course of the 80 to deserve a win. So they'll be looking to bounce back. It's essentially must win for Wales if they want to keep their title hopes alive. And for France, they'll be looking at the first Six Nations title for a long time and still be hoping to keep that potential Grand Slam alive. But an away trip to Cardiff is definitely not an easy one. I will go over the squads. I'll check them in the description so you guys can look for yourselves. But essentially, it's pretty steady as she goes, especially on the Welsh side, but relatively similar on the French side as well. Neither of these squads have kind of sweeping changes, and I guess that kind of makes sense given, especially for the French, there's nothing to be too disappointed about. And in the Welsh, they weren't that far away. So, again, there's no real reason to suddenly throw the baby out with the bathwater. But, for Wales, it's Wyn Jones, Ken Owens, and Dylan Lewis in the front row. And, there's been a bit of talk prior to this game about how the scrum is going to go. Talk about that the French are going to cheat. And there was some ruling that apparently the Welsh front row was hard done by in that game against Ireland in one particular scrum. So, I think the Welsh front row will have a point to prove at scrum time. They got Jake Ball and Alan Wyn Jones in the second row. Alan Wyn is captain, of course. And the back row, Moriarty comes in at 6. So that means Wainwright is down on the bench. And Tipuric and Faletau 7 and 8. Tipuric's probably been the Welsh kind of back row of choice so far. You feel like Faletau, he still hasn't had that kind of blockbusting game that you kind of expect from him. But it's still... it's only going to be one moment away until he finally puts that on. But he's not been bad. It's just not been the Taulupe Faletau of old. But we'll see how he goes against the French. Gareth Davies returns to start at 9. So Thomas Williams is down to the bench. Biggar is 10. Hadleigh Parkes is 12. Tompkins gets his third game and he'll be in the 13 jersey. Kind of criticised a fair bit after that last game. Like really got a lot of praise after his first game. Not so much after his second game, so we'll see where he's at in this game. With Vakatawa on the French side, he's certainly going to have to be solid defensively. And Josh Adams, who's been in phenomenal form. George North, who is coming in for a lot of criticism. He's on the right wing. And Leigh Halfpenny, the ever-reliable man in terms of high ball, booting the ball, just as general play, is there at 15. So... that's the Welsh squad. Like I said, minimal changes, just kind of guys swapping from the bench role to a starting role. In terms of their bench, Elias, Evans, and Brown are your front row replacements. Rowlands could get his Wales debut if he comes on. Wainwright, like I said, has moved to the bench, and back replacements: Thomas Williams, Jarrod Evans, and Johnny McNicholl. So there's no Adam Baird this week. He doesn't make the match day 23. I think he's going back to play some Pro 14. And that's the Welsh squad. For France, it is a bit of an interesting one because Rates is injured, so they have shuffled the backs around, but the forwards seem to be the same. By Marchand and Howes as the front row, and they've been pretty solid as well, so the front row battle is going to be one to watch. Leroux and Willemse have been really solid in the second row too. A lot of tackles between them, and Cruz, Olivon, and Aldrit are the back row, and they've been really exceptional. I mean, as much as Tipuric has been good, the French guys have been just as good. So that's going to be one to watch. Dupont has maybe been the best player of the Six Nations thus far. Not perfect. He still has his moments, but he's been very good. And Ntamack has been not too far away as well. So him up against Biggar is also going to be pretty fascinating. Vincent moves from 13 to 12 to accommodate Vakatawa, who's back at 13. That means Fickou moves from 12 to 11. So that's an interesting choice, seeing as he's been in good form in the midfield. But I guess with Rates out, they've had to move somebody, and Teddy Tomos still there on the right wing. So, I mean, there's always questions about him defensively, and Josh Adams running it, he doesn't make that any easier. So that will be one to watch as well. But Teddy Tomos, in terms of ball in hand, does make magic things happen. So both guys will need to be sharp when playing without the ball. And Bouthier, with that big boot of his, he's going to make Leigh Halfpenny's night a long one in terms of putting some kicks through. So, yeah, he's there at fullback as well. Replacements for France. Shark comes in. He's not been in the squad the last couple of times. Gross, Bamba, they are both the prop replacements. Tafa Fanua is still there. Creton comes into the side. Serran, who was a pretty darn good replacement for Dupont last week or the week before. Gilbert and Ramos round out the squad. So on paper, it looks to be a pretty close one. When you look at the predictions, like Rugby Forecast algorithm is saying Wales by 11. I guess that's kind of on the back of, I mean, it's taking historic data as far as I'm aware. Gatlin's record in Cardiff is a pretty good one. So Wales at home should be favourites, but the bookmakers, in terms of where the punters are putting all their money, it's still Wales, but only Wales by 6, so not quite as convincing. And it's an interesting one when you look at these last 5 games these teams have played. I mean, that last one at the World Cup was pretty close. That one was 20 points to 19. Wales did well to get through that one. France had a red card, so neither side's kind of finest hour, but it was still a Welsh win. 2018 in Cardiff was 14 points to 13. So these sides are not foreign to having some close games. That seems to be something they do. And if you look at the average score across the last 5 games between these two teams, it's Wales 19, France 16. So generally speaking, these teams tend to battle it out. Remember Six Nations last year in Paris, Wales did well to kind of come back and win that one as well. 2017 was the French last win over Wales, and that was in Paris. The last time they got a win over Wales in Cardiff was 2010, so a whole 10 years ago. But that French team was pretty good. So whether Gaultier's team can live up to those previous standards, that's going to be one to watch. So yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts on these squads. Who do you see as being kind of the key guys for this game? It is really fascinating. Can you imagine if Wales win it and then England beat Ireland? Then it's really anybody's game. But yeah, there's still 2 teams in the hunt for a Grand Slam. We'll see how they go. If you are in the UK, you'll be able to watch this one on... this one will be on BBC. But if not, if you don't know how you're going to watch it, stick around. I'll show you how you can get it done. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts on how this one is going to go, and I'll talk to you again soon. See you later. Remember, guys, if you are looking to see any of the Six Nations games this week or the old ones on demand, download ExpressVPN. The link is in the description. There's a discount code or a discount offer there as well. The sites you'll need to go to, some of the games are here on ITV, some of them are here on the BBC iPlayer. So I'm just going to pick something kind of at random here, just to pick, what should we have a look at? This is all news stuff, but I mean, essentially, where's the Six Nations? There you go. Six Nations Championship on ITV. These games are ready to watch. These are the old games. These are the ones from last week, but the ones that are on live. Funnily enough, you will be able to watch them live. So that's the ITV hub. And then the other one is the BBC iPlayer. So for that one, sport is over here. Essentially, you log in here as well, and you'll be able to watch the rugby. Six Nations 2020. See, Scotland, England, France, Italy, those games are already there, and the live games will be streamed when they are on. But yeah, guys, if you're looking to watch the Six Nations stuff, you're not in the UK, Ireland, France, Italy, this is the place to go. Check out the link in the description for ExpressVPN. Use ITV, use the iPlayer, and you'll be able to watch the games. Cheers, guys.